Okay, we're going to do some exploring of some content on peak demand for doctors, medical clinics, medical spas. I understand, or at least we're really starting to understand that these professionals are probably some of the busiest in Canada. Canada has a very robust healthcare system, healthcare and real estate being some of the strongest industries in the country. Unfortunately, tech wasn't invested so much over the last 30 years, but healthcare and real estate specifically, monster industries. Healthcare, though, what we're getting from the doctors, the clinics, medical spas, is they're getting inundated with requests for consultations, even just maintenance for checkups and stuff like that. The demographics that are heading towards doctors and clinics now, the population's aging, as it would, but there's not that many more clinics or more doctors being put into the system. So the ones that are there right now are getting really stressed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make a habit of just going through some of the written content we put together for the clinics here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, what have you, and then hopefully break that up into bite-sized pieces where you guys will be able to find this on YouTube, on Instagram, and hopefully over time get a little bit of better idea of what it is that AI can do for you. Even some SEO stuff to generate more leads, but hopefully that'll acclimate you to what's going on in the industry, with tech, as well as we can share some of the findings that we've come across from our observations and the implementations we've done for some clinics. So, want to start out with the blog pieces that we put together for doctors. I would just, keep in mind that for a dentist, a doctor, medical spa, a lot of what you guys are experiencing on the ground floor in the trenches, it's a shared experience. You just have different verticals or different contexts. A dentist is going to have a certain patient journey map as well as a doctor, but they generally follow similar principles and structures. So I want to actually go into the patient journey map first because, when we understand how the patient goes from that initial pain or desire to have a change in their body all the way to booking or shortlisting your clinic, it's a lot easier to see where AI can be effective, or even just basic SEO you guys are missing here in Canada, which I was like, whoa, I mean, when we did this campaign, when we started, I thought to myself, we're going into a space where a lot of doctors and, dentists or medical spas are not really tech people. So I can't really expect too much in terms of their digital assets, but the lack thereof that we're seeing for healthcare providers is stark. It's really apparent that this is where we're going to be spending our time for the next few years, and hopefully get the clinics up to speed with what some of the operations in the states are doing, or at least get to that level of effectivity where the doctors, dentists can have a moment to breathe. So I want to go through the patient journey mapping process and how AI can improve healthcare access. We put this article together. Everything that we put together on Peak Demand is driven by AI, all the way from the text that you see on the page to the images. All of these are custom images built by AI, and that's really the mantra that we hold here. I mean, if AI exists now, everything should have a layer of AI decision making in it, including even image generation. So with the patient journey mapping, it starts with a feeling, the first moment of awareness that any potential patient's going to have. It could be anything from a dull ache in the body that keeps returning, fatigue, skin sensitivity, mood shift that's hard to get a grasp of or shake, brain fog, poor sleep. This is what the clinics are literally never seeing. You guys aren't there when the patient's first experiencing pain or having the desire to see a clinic. And this is something that patients don't plan. So really, it's extremely chaotic. This is a process where the top of the funnel, so to speak, for your clinic is uncertain because we're relying on patients to feel their pain or get that desire and then find your clinic. We put here, it's not dramatic or obvious, it's very subtle, it's quiet, and it's often dismissed by the patients themselves. So the first real step in the patient journey is awareness that something isn't quite right. From outside, nothing happens, but internally, the patient is beginning to notice. They may not call your clinic, visit your website, or search for answers just yet, but they're mentally taking inventory. They're asking questions like, is this normal? Am I just tired? I every single day, when I'm sitting at my computer 10, 12 hours a day, I think, do I need to see a doctor? No, you're just tired. You've just been, work with AI terminals for, 5, 6 hours. Just take a break. But other people that are, going about their day and work, they're feeling the same, but something might be up. They just don't know it yet. And the big question is, and especially for men, like as a man, I can tell you, going to a doctor is, you gotta pretty much pry me off my chair. If I'm not, like, I've had COVID twice and didn't go to any doctors aside from getting confirmation that I had COVID. My whole family was, begging me to go to a hospital. At that time, it was an outbreak, so I really couldn't get in there. Still able to walk around and barely eat, but that was more reserved for, people who were in critical condition. And I remember at that time, it's like, why don't you just go to a doctor? It's like, oh, well, what's a doctor gonna do? The doctor is just gonna tell me, to drink fluids, have painkillers, and get on my way. So I just figured I'd do that by myself. So even like for someone like me, the patient journey map is, extremely chaotic. Even resistant to it. So we want to make sure we understand it and how we can capture the attention of those who need service or in pain. So this is the moment where the start of the what we define as a patient journey map, the ability to understand not just when someone makes contact with your clinic, but what's happening in their mind before they even reach out. Super important. So generally, it's them experiencing symptoms, not really knowing what it is that they're feeling, just thinking that something might be wrong, and they're going to do some research online. Like quite literally, if you know how to use a computer and the internet, first thing you're going to do is go online and try and figure out what's going on. And that's generally the first step in all purchasing decisions, or what would be transactional decisions. I think maybe 10 years ago, 80% of all purchasing decisions started with a Google search. I think now that is increased beyond 80%, but now we also have AI interaction, or ChatGPT, what's happening to me. So research will happen. They'll also seek recommendations from people that they know, like, hey, I'm feeling this, what do you think? Family and friends are tend to be a good mirror to reflect what we're feeling right off. And so generally people will try and go to them first. Like the first people I spoke to when I got COVID was my family. They all begging and screaming, go to the hospital, go to the hospital. I said, I'll be fine. I'm not a high risk group, so to speak. So family and friends are going to be there. Google search is going to be there. That's their first thing they're doing. While most businesses think the journey starts with a Google search, AI platforms can now begin value even earlier, though, because of things like ChatGPT on automated customer service. For example, this is where we get into the AI part. Now, AI can help with the patient journey map. AI-driven content generation tools can create articles, social posts around common symptoms like why am I always tired, or what is IV therapy good for. So, like for even our doctors, when you guys are going on your AI journey, we've quite literally built content such as this piece of content to help you understand how AI can help you. And then you go into your purchasing journey trying to figure out what would be the best system to implement. So it's all the same across all purchasing journeys, whether it be someone getting help from a clinic, medical spa, doctor trying to figure out how to do AI. Getting on searches is great. Having AI get you there is even better. So AI powered SEO help rank your clinic help your clinic rank for early symptom-based inquiries that don't mention services at all. So this is where you're quite literally speaking to those symptoms that the patient is feeling, but you're doing it through content, something that can be indexed through Google or even picked up by ChatGPT. I know that our agency is now getting hits from ChatGPT. What's that? We got alarm. Just because a lot of our content is created using AI. So ChatGPT is like, hey, super relevant content here. It looks like almost like we wrote it. So let's share it with this user. And that's got a few leads coming in for AI services, which is great. Same thing can happen for your clinic, just more locally based. Smart AI chatbots can detect common phrasing and serve up resource links, blogs, or even guides, even if someone just browsed without chatting. So chatbot is great. Like we have chatbots going through email, phone, even on the website sometimes. But generally, those chatbots are more informational, like a conversation with ChatGPT. They're just gathering information, trying to figure out what's happening. It's not until we get to the voice where we really start to action those leads and convert them into patients. So, what's the advantage of having an AI-powered, SEO territory or coverage for some of these keywords and these questions these patients are asking? Is you show up before you show up for on their searches before they even realize that they need you, and this builds brand trust and patient confidence early in their journey. So if you're showing up and online and patients are reading your content, looking at your videos and stuff like that, it's building credibility with them. And Google, Facebook, TikTok, they're all letting us know very, very clearly that the more someone sees your face online in a video, the more trust that they build with you and your brand. Like I'm not a video guy or a YouTube guy at all. Like I barely even look at the camera here. I got multiple screens. I probably do need to up my production value or what have you. But the very least, when doctors see me on the call in the demo, they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw your YouTube video." It's like, "Oh great." I have a bit of fame in that way, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for them to recognize that the content we're building and the strategy we use to build content can be something that we can recreate for them, as well as our expertise in understanding how voice agents are built and how they can be most effective for their operation. That's what I'm looking for them to recognize in me, but it really helps when they see my face and smiling and talking about what they need. So why this matters most clinics only optimize for transactional phase. This is where we lose a lot of our, I don't want to say credibility, but we lose a lot of what would be the value in taking that patient down the entire patient journey map. When patients are ready to book, it's really transactional. It's like doctors like, oh, you're sick, okay, great, book with us, pay, we'll make you better, da da da. The real opportunity lies in becoming a trusted presence earlier when uncertainty and curiosity are starting to build. If you understand this phase of the journey, you can create content that speaks to early symptoms, target long tail keyword searches that competitors miss. This is it's actually crazy how much opportunity is in SEO for medical clinics. Like, you guys really don't do anything, or at least there is a small group that do a lot, and they end up over time pretty much absorbing all of these searches in their local markets. And the other teams that are just like, hey, we have a website that's great, let's put our stuff on Google, or maybe someone will call us through a phone number. Those teams end up getting far fewer patients because they're not technically tapped into the patient journey map, which starts with research. So reassure potential patients before they even pick up the phone. Again, building that credibility and trust. Become the first clinic they remember when they finally ready to act. So this is super important. There is something to be said for being the first there. A lot of times people say, "Oh, you don't want to be the first market. You want to be the second to market, third to market, and see what happens." Not when it comes to pain. You want to be the first person that establishes contact or engagement with the patient, because to them, in their mind, it's like, okay, well, this person was available for me first in my time of need. I can trust them with my health. And like when you're buying, say, pizza, or which pizza delivery shop is going to answer your call first and book. Like if so, pizza shop isn't answering their calls, it's quite literally their lifeline for business, they're going to answer every call. And the first one's usually going to get the business. It's really, really the same for clinics. I mean, it's a mundane analogy, but human beings are not too complex when it comes to how we feel. When we feel something, we want to have it change right away. Silent and self-education is another, silent research and self-education, another thing that a lot of patients are doing. After awareness sets in, patients don't jump to action. They fall into observation mode. This is the quiet middle ground between something's not right and I need to talk to someone. So they're sort of on the fence with making their decision. They're going to be doing a lot of information absorption, which is watching, reading, comparing, and learning. It's all happening in the background of daily life, often at night. This is huge, huge, because we're so busy during the day with work, with family. When we get to a moment of peace at night, that's when we can sort of self-reflect. Only thing is, clinics aren't open at night. Keep that in mind. Often during a break or when we're scrolling on our phones in bed. This is part of the patient journey mapping that's the most invisible to clinics, but most important for shaping brand trust. What silent research looks like in real life when a patient's actually going through it, Googling, what's good, is this normal, watching TikToks or Instagram reels for people trying to share their information on or be educational through those channels. Maybe even other clinics that are more active with their content, trying to capture the lead. Reading Reddits, comparing lifestyle with YouTubers. Oh God, it's like everything we do has to be reflected off of something on YouTube or TikTok. They're not looking for a clinic just yet. They're just making their opinion and trying to come to a conclusion themselves. What might be wrong, what's serious, whether people like them are getting help, what kind of treatments and solutions are there. And the more complex the issue, the more research you're likely to do. Self-diagnosis phase, it's happening before your name even enters a conversation. But we still want to be there with content. How AI can support this patients in this phase is, again, AI generated content, super helpful, like the one I'm literally reading to you right now. Conversational chatbots, quite literally, every business should have one of these. Like our chatbot Sasha, when she's so funny because of all the people that Sasha speaks to, I think she's most disagreeable with me, even though I built her. But people who find peak demand and have a conversation with her, quickly book. Some of our clients or chatbots either say, hey, get a quote, call this person, get a quote, book this person, what's so on. So having that just there, just to have opportunity for them to get information actively, instantaneously, super important. AI email flows. This is when they subscribe to a newsletter, get into your email drip campaigns, where you're constantly peppering them with new content, new information, new helpful things that they can read to understand what they're going through, and eventually build that trust enough for them to call your clinic. So right now, you're not going for conversions. You quite literally need to build credibility. Like literally the reason why I'm building this video is to build credibility with healthcare providers who are on their AI journey. So, even something like this, if a doctor were to go through some of the symptoms of, something common occurrence in their area, super important, because then they're able to establish credibility before that person even considers, hey, maybe I need to see a clinic. Silent research can't be ignored because it's the make or break for trust. By the time patients, ready to contact the clinic, they've already eliminated dozens of options in their mind, most even without visiting your site. Like quite literally, they're shortlisting clinics like this because they know that they can't be sick for too long, and pain is a very strong motivator. So they want to get themselves fixed really quickly, and so they're trying to find a clinic that can do that ASAP. If you're not producing helpful content appearing in symptom level search results or showing up in passive discovery like YouTube, Google, Instagram, you're invisible during this phase, not good. Clinics that understand patient journey mapping know that the decision to book often starts long before a form is filled. Patients want to feel informed, safe, and seen before they ever hear your voice. So here's a little snapshot of the patient journey. Again, this was generated by, I'm like so impressed with the level of accuracy that AI is coming up when it's building some of these conceptual images for our content. Like where we were 3 to 6 months ago pales in comparison to where we are today. Like, this is amazing stuff. So you usually go from symptom to research, Google search, maybe AI gets involved. If the clinic's using AI, again, AI making comparisons for them for other symptoms, or maybe even comparing to what other patients have experienced. Um, at this point in time, if your clinic's plugged in, you probably have an AI voice receptionist that can answer the phone 24/7. So let's just say someone has pain at 10 o'clock at night. You guys aren't in the clinic at 10 o'clock unless you're really burning the midnight oil. But if the patient's feeling pain and they want to shortlist clinics, they might even start to call clinics just to leave voicemails, just so someone can reach back to them. Having an AI voice agent there to catch that call, pretty much do a patient intake form with them on that call, and then have them booked on the calendar before anyone else back at the office. That's a really strong patient experience. So once patient has quietly researched their symptoms and possible out solutions, the next question becomes, who else has gone through this? What do they do? This moment when they seek social proof, and it's one of the most influential steps in the entire patient journey mapping process. So again, asking friends and family, like, what do I do in this situation? Super important for them, and something that we have to understand as part of their journey. Asking friends, coworkers, sending DM to someone who posted about the treatment, like literally where you're just like online community now, asking influencers, what do I do when I'm sick? Jesus Christ, that's a very hard reality to pretty much acknowledge, but this is it. So being in the same place the influencers are, or where these people are spending their time, TikTok, Instagram. When I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time just scrolling through TikTok. Even today, when I wake up in the morning, it's mostly just AI stuff now. But um, you know, people really gravitate to the people that they see every day, their faces, their voices. These influencers do have power to influence, so to speak. So you sort of want to be an influencer in your space for your services and the symptoms that lead to getting those services. Google reviews, super important. Like, we tell all our clients, literally after you're done service, force them to give you a 5-star review. You literally can't afford to not have good reviews. And I would even say, if you do have a lot of reviews already, leverage that into driving more business. And if you don't have any reviews, any business that you do get, make sure they leave you one. Lurking in Facebook groups, Reddit threads, or local forums to hear how others handled the same concerns. Searching for video testimonials. It's literally for them. They're going through information overload at that point. It's not about the information anymore. It's about emotional safety and that feeling. Am I alone? Did this work for other people? Can I trust a clinic to actually help, not just sell me a service or a product that I might not need? Like, all of these things are going through the patient's mind. And why this step is crucial in the patient journey map is, at this stage, patients have formed a hypothesis of, maybe I think I need this kind of help, or I need to do something. And now they're looking to validate that belief with your clinic's digital reputation. And this is why I really feel like Canada, or at least the healthcare providers in Canada, we're going to help them go through a digital revolution with AI, just because we're so far behind the States, other developed nations, when it comes to just basic digital practices for clinics. I like, when we started this a few months ago, we're calling this the Great Canadian AI Adoption for 2025, and I'm just thinking, like, all of our systems and all of our practices are coming out of the States. Like, some of the Canadian clients we work with, initially they thought I was American. I had to tell them, no, we're literally downtown Toronto, King and Spadina, come visit. And they were just blown away about how far off their tech was. And I just had to tell them, it's like, healthcare is a super big industry in Canada. So is real estate. We don't do tech here at all, to the point where it's almost absent for clinics. So digital reputation is going to be what validates your patients to shortlist your clinic. That's just a reality now. We live in a world where people are doing or making their decisions and getting informed digitally. You have to be present digitally. It's just not a choice. Either opens the doors or gets silently passed over. This silently gets passed over part, if you have a few clinics in one area doing the same thing, it's probably going to be the clinic with the most blog posts that's getting the most of the business, and that's just the bottom line. Like, would you stake your entire operation on just your ability to provide service? You can't anymore. But in the past, you were able to do that because people would say, "Yeah, he's the best," or "She's the best at what she does in this area," and you would just be getting business. Now that's not the case. That the word of mouth doesn't travel as fast as a Google search that sees reviews and relevant content. So it's so important to have those covered. If your testimonials sound scripted or generic, instant distrust. If your Instagram page shows only polished staff shots with no client stories, missed opportunity. Like, people want to see the real. They want to see what others go through on this journey. Like, quite literally, our team, and this is for you doctors that are watching this, our team quite literally puts up the demos of how we show off our agents so that you guys can see what we do, like like insider look of what we're doing, because you're so disattached from it. Our teams basically come to the conclusion, oh, let's just put it online, and lo and behold, it's almost like clockwork. The doctor sees the content online, they're like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about, and they book. So it's important for us to continue to build this content, but at the same time, through this content, we're actually providing value. Let me see what else here. The clinics that win at this stage are the ones that feel real, relatable, and emotionally safe for the person who's feeling that pain. So they've established enough trust with you through your digital assets. And how AI can support this trust state is AI just doesn't replace human connection here. It supports it by ensuring the right content, reviews, messaging shows up at the right time. So AI is really, really good at timing. It's really, really good at context. We can very clearly see that Google's implementing AI into a lot of its search results, or at least what kind of questions people are asking. Google's using AI to answer those questions. So we're seeing very, very clearly that AI is going to become pretty much the focal point for validation and decision making for pretty much everything in the future. But slowly creeping into healthcare in a way where even Google's saying, you know what, let's put the AI results first because it's probably more relevant and more true than some of these Google search results that were put together by humans, even though they might be qualified. Let me see what we got here. What do you guys need to know? AI sentiment analysis. We can have an AI analyze your reviews to see what's good. Social listening tools. You can build sophisticated AI to scan these things just to see what people are doing with your clinic or what they're saying. You probably would need a larger operation, probably 5-10 clinics for that sort of data to be useful to you. But the real value comes from just creating content, being present, keywords, stuff like that. When AI is supporting this stage for trust, it's just basically reinforcing great reviews after a treatment, anonymized success stories through those reviews. Use AI to surface organized social proof content. So like, if you have AI or a whole bunch of content or a whole bunch of reviews, you can use it to organize those reviews, curated in a way that really works. One thing that we'll be doing with this video is creating a whole bunch of short videos touching on snippets from this piece, and that'll basically give you that quick injection of content on their journey through Instagram or YouTube or what have you. It's really good to build up impressions that way. And you can also train chatbots to reference real outcomes from patients, like say an IV infusion clinic, saying many clients report that they improve energy after 2 to 3 NAD plus sessions, which is great because that's true for the clinic, and the AI is just quite literally referencing some of the experiences that their patients have gone through. I gotta get a Canadian recharge here with some Timmies. Okay, so patient journey mapping isn't just about the analytics, it's about knowing when emotions outweigh information, and that's the moment, and this is that moment and this is where trust is super important. So patient searches for a clinic, AI literally, if you're a clinic who's looking towards the future, after hours AI voice solutions, like we can do that for you, no problem. But those really help in establishing trust because it's instantaneous responses. Book an appointment, and then the next day the doctor goes to the laptop and say, hey, Vanessa or Veronica, our AI assistant, she booked 2 appointments last night at 10 p.m. Great. Patients are coming in today. So after researching symptoms and hearing from trusted sources, the patient is now ready to find help. This is the conversion zone. Ooh, this is what everyone wants to hear about. The moment that they type into Google, hoping to land on someone who understands what they're going through and can offer a solution that feels safe, clear, and accessible. In terms of patient journey mapping, this is where behavior becomes trackable and where AI can begin to shape both patient experience and clinic outcomes. So, what patients are searching for this stage, and Google, this is why I know I'm doing what I like. Because Google, I'm a really big data guy. I'm a really big predictive analytics guy. Like, Google is the best because Google gets enough searches on a regular basis, quite literally by the second, where it quite literally knows where and what that person is going to do based on what they're searching. And this is called search intent. For, I guess, for a patient, it would be, or any sort of purchasing journey, it's called purchase intent or transactional intent. So they're looking for the solution. They think they need an IV drip, facial, physiotherapy, counseling. Their locations, neighborhood, city, or even near me. And the urgency or limitations, open late, weekend appointments, female therapists. So we want to hit these searches exactly word for word with the content we're building and showcasing online. Examples of real queries online: so NAD plus therapy for brain fog, Toronto, best IV clinic open after work near me. Notice after work. Redness facial treatment downtown, massage for tension headache Saturday, after hours physiotherapist, say Toronto. And you'll notice after hours, after work, this is when people get to do this stuff. When the clinics are not really, maximally on operation. After hours, early mornings, it's, on those off times when doctors might not be in. Just keep that in mind. They're not browsing anymore. They're actively trying to connect. First impressions happen in seconds. Here's where Google business profile, website, digital presence matter most. If the patient sees consistent reviews, clicks through to a slow or vague website, can't easily find pricing or services, doesn't know how to book quickly, they just leave. Like, it's quite literally like an e-commerce website. Oh, the add to cart button doesn't work. No, I'm gone. I'm not going to buy anything today. It's a digital experience, or what's called user experience, will be the deciding factor on whether or not your clinic gets shortlisted. Just like that, your clinic is out of the running, often without you ever even knowing, because this is happening all silent in the background in the patient's world. If your clinic's not getting leads in, it's probably because you're not doing some of this stuff. Again, I'm being hard on clinics in Canada. We're here trying to help you guys do this. This is where AI steps in and stands out. AI interaction window, the brief, powerful opportunity to intercept intent and respond with clarity. So this is new in the patient journey. AI interaction window didn't exist, 5 years ago. It would just be content, SEO, call clinic, leave message, or book on the calendar, done. But now that we have AI in an AI layer, we can instantly respond via voice agents or chatbots. So someone clicks call from your Google listing after hours, an AI voice assistant can answer immediately, provide service or info on the frequently asked questions, even route calls to staff or doctors. This is like, the call routing is becoming one of the most sought after features for the agents. Like, they're quite literally miniature IVR systems. We can even build them for hospitals. Offer next step instructions, like literally booking them onto the calendar or rescheduling a time if they need a new time. Those patients that are engaging with websites in real time might be speaking with chatbots. An AI chatbot can be visited with hi, looking for something specific. We're currently helping our other clients who want to explore options, see pricing, want to book a free consult, or ask questions anonymously. All of these things are very easy for AI to do. And then that data gets sent back to the team where you guys can analyze, follow up, assess, or even treat the patient. And this AI decision-making layer has proven, quite literally proven, in the last couple of years, that it eliminates decision friction. So it increases conversions. When AI is powering your booking, FAQs, live support, patients can get answers immediately. That's really it's the speed to lead part that AI is really great at. See available appointment slots through a calendar, say a Google Calendar. Make low risk decisions without pressure. So, like, yeah, I'm booking an appointment right now, no problem. But they're getting that service right then and there on their first realization of I need to do something, and that's the most important part. And the best part about all this is all this happens whether your front desk is open or not. So 3 a.m. AI voice agent can be booking you for the next day. You don't even have to have staff there. That's the it's so funny because when we're trying to show off AI solutions to doctors, their immediate reaction is no, no, no. We have someone who already works on our website. That's how far back Canadian doctors are thinking. Our team literally calls doctors and says, "Hey, we work with AI agency. How far along are you with AI adoption? We already have someone who does our website." That's the reaction that we get a lot of the times. It really does take a doctor to see and understand technological trends and say, oh, well, we haven't really done AI or anything in AI yet, but we're curious. Okay, no problem. We'll get on a demo. As soon as we show them the voice agent that can answer calls after hours, they can't unsee it. It's over. The mystified, veil of AI and what that means for their clinic, that completely comes down, and they can now not turn away from this system that can work for them 24/7. We had this one clinic in Alberta. This woman was having trouble with just hiring a receptionist that she could train properly. She literally going through receptionist, high turnover, big, oh, you can't do the job, let's try and hire another one. Like, keep on doing that after years. We showed her a voice agent. She's like, how fast can you get that built? He said, no problem. We can get this to you a couple of weeks. She has to go through all the hurdles and stuff internally with her doctors and stuff, but she's going to be getting a voice agent that can speak multiple languages, work 24/7, and she's in an area that's high traffic and has a lot of immigrants. So she's like, oh my God, like, can I get two? No problem. We're just waiting for her doctors to say it's okay. Like, again, where there's so many barriers to tech adoption, even when a clinic owner says, hey, I need this, I want this, it's going to make our stuff better. The doctor's like, hold on, wait, is it a new website? So, it's for us, it's so apparent that you guys need this, but it's even more clear that once you see it, you really want it. So we don't mind sort of, going toe to toe with you on the phone just to explain, hey, we're not doing websites. I mean, we do, but this stuff is well beyond that. Comparison shopping and instant engagement. This is when they're really shortlisting clinics and making that choice. Patients now have a short list, typically 2 to 4 clinic spots. Practitioners are seriously considering. These aren't impulse decisions anymore. They're comparing service, trust, and tone, and ease of interaction. Super important, ease of interaction. Literally, friction on the journey means your clinic doesn't get chosen. Oh, I have to leave a voice. Oh, I can only call and speak to someone 3 days a week. You're probably not going to get that much business. The amount of doctors' offices we've called and it says, if I don't get back to you, try again, and eventually someone will get back to you in the next 2 weeks. That was a voice message that we heard from a doctor. We'll get back to you in the next 2 weeks is what we heard. Imagine being a patient feeling pain, and the the clinic in your area said, we'll get back to you in the next 2 weeks. That is probably some of the worst language I've ever heard on a voicemail in general, but coming from a doctor, it's borderline disgraceful. But this is the reality that patients are going through in Canada. And it's amazing how much our healthcare industry has evolved, but without tech. So we're just like, hey, no problem. We'll plug you in, make this a lot easier for you. The phase is highly emotional, often influenced by how safe and seen they feel, how easy it is to reach someone, who feels like the right fit. Clinics that understand patient journey mapping now knows this is where small details matter the most, where AI gives you an edge. What patients are comparing at this stage, patients are likely asking themselves, does this place actually specialize in my concern? Are the reviews recent and consistent? Is the website clean, mobile friendly, informative? Can I book easily? Can I ask questions? How soon can I be seen? Like, these are just like firing off in their head automatically just because they're in pain, they're in fear, and they need some answers now. Leaving voicemails on leaving voicemails on some of these clinic machines. Oh my God. Like, this is, you know what? Now, even thinking about it, I probably developed an aversion to just calling these clinics, or just trying to see them, just because of how hard my patient journey mapping has, or my patient journey map has been in the past personally, that I've just given up. And I'm just like, if I die, I die. It's like, but people who still want to go to clinics, see doctors and stuff like that, they need to be coddled on their journey. The clinics that win are the ones who engage first. Here's the hard truth. The first clinic to respond clearly and confident often wins the booking. This is where AI dominates your area, because AI is answering first and instantaneously. That doesn't mean being pushy. It means often offering instant answers, giving clear path forward, book, call, ask, learn, matching their tone, friendly, expert, helpful. Like, we program the agent to do this stuff. Like, we literally just make it, you say this in this way. We don't have to train people to figure it out. We're just programming a robot to do it. Being present without being intrusive. Like, we can actually turn the dials up or down on how aggressive these agents. It's actually remarkable how much control we have over the build. How AI makes you the first and best to respond. This is where AI answering service, chatbot, booking assistant becomes a game changer. AI chatbots on your website, available 24/7, explains treatments, plain language, answers insurance and cost questions, offer appointment availability, next steps, share tailored links to blog posts, packages, success stories. Literally like a salesperson, marketer working for you. AI voice assistants, though, this is like, once you guys get into the voice stuff, you're pretty much Battlestar Galactica level of effectivity for when it comes to your tech. If someone calls and your staff is busy, or it's after hours, like after hours answering services for healthcare are putting people who are untrained on the phone with your potential patients, quite possibly risking your business's brand. And like, a lot of healthcare providers use these services. Just get an AI voice agent. It's going to be far more cost effective and far more effective. Greet them warmly, route urgent calls, record non-urgent messages, help them reschedule or ask a question without waiting. Like, it's just doing everything without you being there. And obviously, we're going to be smart booking them into your systems. If you got a custom integration, we'll do all the text confirmations, all that stuff. But generally, integrating the voice agent into your patient or your patient information system or patient booking system. This reduces the drop off and turns comparisons when they're shortlisting clinics into converting your lead, that person, into a patient. So we are no longer in the more chaotic or uncertain area of just like who's getting the Google search. We're putting actual active agents in front of these leads to convert them to patients by being thoughtful, meaningful, but most importantly, fast. Why instant engagement is a deciding factor? Most modern patients aren't just choosing where to go, they're choosing how it feels to engage with your clinic. If your site feels effortless with others while others feel clunky, you win. Like, you can see our website is like super basic. Like, we're dealing with very sophisticated AI systems, complex and technical automations that we have to build. We know our customers don't want to do all that. Like, they don't even think about or look at that stuff. It makes them sick. So we try and make the website as simple and easy to follow as possible. Just schedule a call, see prototypes, schedule a call, see prototypes, and that's how we've come to pretty much gain traction with the people that we work with, building the website for them. If your voice assistant handles the calls while others send them to voicemail, you won. Like, this is a huge problem in Canada. The amount of clinics that are relying on voicemails in Canada is, it's to me, like, I feel like I've got the golden goose of opportunities here, just because the solution that we're putting together for clinics is quite literally solving one of the most salient pain points that you guys are experiencing. And it is the missed revenue from missed calls. You just can't answer every call, can you? AI can. It does so far more effectively than humans can. So first contact powered by AI, still human. After days, sometimes weeks of inner reflection, research, comparison, the patient finally takes the action, calls, messages, contact form. In that moment, they're making their decision. So it's pretty much everything. It's the first time they expose their concern, make a choice, and invite someone into their health or wellness story. And how your clinic responds here sets the tone for the entire experience moving forward. What patients are feeling at first contact: nervous. Will someone actually respond to their pain? Like answer the phone? Geez, like the voicemail thing. It's just this is why I probably don't engage with many healthcare providers, because the voicemail thing is just amazing that some businesses survive off that. Hopeful, a lot of hope. Uncertain, did I pick the right one? What if I'm wasting my money? This one's huge. Uncertainty, did I pick the right clinic? Well, did you build enough trust with all the content you put up to have them feel like you're the right one? Cautiously optimistic, please don't make this harder than it needs to be. So basically, they're saying to themselves, "Is my experience with this doctor going to make me feel better, feel worse? Hopefully, it's better, but please don't make me feel worse." And this is going to go back to what sort of content you put up, what sort of videos are you putting up to let them know that this will make them feel better. It's the new wave of doctors that comes out in Canada. Hopefully, we have a new wave. Geez, we need more doctors in the country. They're really into making content, really into leveraging AI, because the current group of you're very aversive to this stuff. So literally, that's why I'm making these videos, is to show you that it works. But more importantly, it's not just that it works, it's that you have to do it now. Clinics often underestimate the emotional weight of the step, but when you look at it through the lens of patient journey mapping, it becomes clear this is the moment of conversion and commitment. How AI first contact enhances first contact without making it robotic. AI voice receptionist on phone calls, it's not replacing human connection. It's literally protecting it, because instead of leaving a voicemail with someone who's not going to respond to you for a couple of days, they're getting instantaneous response from a natural, kind, calm, voice on the phone. It's immediate. There's no 6, 7 rings before someone answers. It's clear answers to questions that they have, or routing the call to someone who can answer them right now, like a specialist working after hours. And everything's logged. So like when it comes to compliance in Canada, security and privacy are super important. We're leveraging extremely powerful systems that are heavily invested. I would even say some of the most powerful systems on the planet, OpenAI being one of them. So quite literally everything is logged, so that if you ever need to do an audit or something like that, you can see down to the quite literally the minute when something was said, or maybe even seconds now, I'm not sure. An AI agent said something, or the patient said something and left information. So, PAPITA and HIPAA compliance, agents bring you right up to that immediately, because they're not taking notes or anything like that. Everything's recorded, everything's documented. AI powered website, SMS chatbot, same thing. Maybe we can go a bit faster through here. It's repetitive. AI makes sure that no message is left unanswered, no opportunities missed, and no patient is left hanging. The left hanging part, I think, is a big thing. If patients feel like they got left hanging from your clinic, not only are they going to say, "Hey, I didn't even go to that clinic because they didn't answer me," but they probably might tell that to other people, and that might, hurt the chance of your clinic getting more business in the future. So being left hanging, we want to avoid that at all costs. The human element still matters. AI just supports it, and this is where you're probably, a lot of clinics have receptionists working in the clinic right now answering the phone. Have him or her do something else. Have AI work the phones, book people onto calendars, have the people in the office taking care of the people in the office. Really, really pains me to see how many doctors are answering their own phones and leaving patients while they do that. It's amazing. It's honestly amazing. And I'm like, phone calls are lowest priority. Like if we were to triage patients, the person with a scratch is not going to need as much help as the person with a deep cut. The person with a deep cut is that person in your office that's needs to be treated. Might be another one on the phone, but that's not important right now. The person right there in front of you is most important. Patients that are calling you don't need you at that moment. They need you when you're when they come to the office. Put AI in front of them to bring them to the office. It's extremely basic stuff. This frees up your staff to respond with quality, not just speed. provide patients with immediate acknowledgement and guidance, ensure every first contact is met with calm, useful communication. This is important. Like what we're, it's funny, like we look at trends in AI, and the biggest trend in 2023 for AI for requests was content generation and generating ideas. Give me some ideas, give me some ideas, give me some ideas. 2023, 2024, I think. 2025, the most common ask for AI is, therapeutic conversation. Like it's so apparent that people need a sounding board, need a calm, friendly voice to bounce things off of in order to feel comfortable, safe. Like I'm talking to AI agents all day, and I can tell you a lot of the conversations I have with AI agents are better than the ones I have with humans. Period. And because of that, they are really, really effective at being therapeutic, even though there's not another human on the other side. It's just our perception, our feeling brings our anxiety levels down, makes us more calm. I feel less anxious after I've had a conversation with ChatGPT because it's doing a shitload of work. That's my pain. But for a patient, just having a conversation with a chatbot, a lot of times they don't even know it's a chatbot. Most of the leads that come in through peak demand don't know that Sasha is not real. And they're going towards an AI agency. Of course, she's not a real person. She's just an amazing voice agent that can book the hell out of you guys. By the time a team member steps in, the patient already feels seen, understood, and cared for. And that's because they had a great conversation with the AI. Why AI enhanced first contact converts better. According to patient journey mapping, response time is one of the top predictors of whether a patient books or bounces. Huge. Literally, like it's and that's and I continue to be taken aback by how poorly Canadian clinics do this, but I understand why. You guys are so busy that you literally can't. You come to a point now where you're so busy you can't be fast with the responses because you're just constantly backlogged or what have you. So if it takes more than 10 minutes to respond to a form, trust is dropping. Longer than 2 rings to answer, anxiety rises. Whoa. No confirmation after a message. They just go to the next clinic who's going to respond. All AI solves all of this. You stay warm, responsive, and professional 24/7. Why patient journey mapping plus AI is a better business model, period. It's because at its core, patient journey mapping helps you understand how people find, trust, and choose your clinic. But when you layer in AI tools, you do more than just observe the AI journey. You actively shape and optimize it. So this is taking what we've been doing typically for the past probably like I would say 30 years or 40, maybe whenever phones came about, since we have phones and just connecting people with phones, up to getting a website and putting information in forms. This is taking all of that and sending it to warp speed to now AI is answering phones, AI is answering emails, AI is creating content. All of this stuff is moving so quickly now. If you're not doing it, you're quite literally going to be outcompeted by the clinics that do. So the impact on patients is a look at AI-powered journey. Let's revisit the entire patient journey real quick before we wrap it up here. It begins with the first symptom, where the patient experiencing a quiet concern. They're not just looking for a clinic yet. They're searching for reassurance. Here, AI-generated blog content and symptoms focused on SEO make your clinic show up when they type, "Why am I always tired?" or "What is NAD plus therapy?" As they enter the silent search phase, AI chatbots can offer helpful resources on the website, guide them through educational material, or suggest next steps, all without pressure. During the social validation stage, patients are looking for proof. AI helps to help surface your best reviews, patient testimonials, and relatable success stories so that potential clients feel seen, understood, and safe choosing you. By the time they reach the Google search phase, patients want direction and confidence. If they click call from your Google listing after hours, voice AI can greet them. If they land on your website, a chatbot can immediately answer their questions, reducing uncertainty in real time. The comparison phase, patients are weighing your clinics against others. Here, AI provides instant booking tools, visible appointment slots, fast, friendly responses that make your clinic feel easier to work with and more than any alternative. And then finally, that first contact, that critical moment where the pain is bridged with a phone call towards your clinic. The patient needs to feel safe and supported. A 24/7 AI receptionist ensures they're greeted instantly their questions are answered, and when needed, the conversation is seamlessly handed off to the human team. The impact on clinics: more conversions, less staff stress, higher patient satisfaction, consistent messaging, stronger reputation, and lower patient acquisition costs. This is the power of combining intelligent automation with what we know to be the patient journey map. So we're going to put all this language why this isn't the future. It's really right now in the States, like, there it's a gradual process for AI adoption across North America. The States are doing it way, way faster. Like, we have conversations with doctors in the States, like, way quicker than we do with Canadians. Even just getting to the conversations way easier because they understand tech is necessary for operations. Canadians are still getting used to it. But in the States, they've got AI automations crawling all over the place now. In Canada, not really a thing yet. We're going to make it the thing. AI voice agents, smart chatbots, and automated lead tracking. You're not removing the human element. You're elevating it with automations. You free your team to focus on care while AI handles repetitive, high volume, high stakes touch points that drive new business. And this is important: high stake touch points that drive new business. Are you going to put an undertrained receptionist at the gateway to revenue for your business? Or are you going to put a 200 IQ machine that doesn't sleep and knows exactly what to do in all situations? The answer is becoming very apparent. That person, they might be a really good person that deals with people. Have them do that in the office. Focus on the people in the office. Have AI deal with the people who are floating out in the internets looking for a clinic. So it's ready to transform your clinic's journey. So, schedule a call with us here on Peak Demand. Go to peakdemand.ca, go to contact, book a discovery call. There's a whole bunch of discovery call buttons all over, pretty much every page. We make it very, very easy for you guys. Alternatively, you can call Sasha directly and speak to her about booking, or you can book directly onto the calendar with her. And that's the same sort of thing that the patient's going to experience. They call someone, and then that person, some entity on the other side of the line, answers the phone. They get booked on the calendar. That experience is seamless for them. Now, calling someone and leaving a voicemail, not so good. So if you're curious what implementation looks like, we got videos on YouTube. We have some conceptual images here, as well as a list of deliverables we get you for when we implement your system. Call reporting, call transcripts, all of this is very sensitive information. So we make sure that all the systems we're using are compliant with WPITA. And I can tell you right now, I'm almost willing to bet that the compliance standards for information are going to literally require AI integrations at some point, just because they do things way better. It's so clear now. And it's like, I try to tell the guys on the team, like, we're standing in front of a huge ocean of people who need this but don't know they need it. It's like watching, a huge group of people dig holes with their bare hands, and you're the guy standing there with a wagon of shovels. Like, I try to get these guys to say, if the clinics are saying they're not interested, tell them this is not website stuff. This is something that they have never seen before, and when they see it, they're never going to unsee this. We are quite literally at a point now where the clinics are so unbeknownst to what's available to them that when they do see it, it blows their minds, cracks their heads right open, and brings them to this new world of, this exists? Oh my God. Every single clinic we show them, if they can't buy now, they're saying, Alex, we want this. Let us save a couple bucks, but we want this. Not one clinic that we've shown this to has said we don't want this. It's only the ones that haven't seen it on the phone. Oh, some clinics are even telling us, we don't want AI. We're not going to use AI. That's the same as a business saying, we don't want a website. We don't need a website. Back in the past, you would have said I remember when people are using say, oh, website's just a digital business card, when now websites are quite literally the determining factor of whether or not your business survives. It's insane. It's really going to be a transformative moment for healthcare in Canada when a lot more clinics adopt these systems and technology. And then that's really, healthcare is one sector. We're going to be going to a different sector. We're just working on healthcare to start because A, shows our competence and credibility, but B, you guys just need it the most. It's very, very apparent. So visit peakdemand.ca. Take a look at some of the videos here. If you want, you can give a call to Sasha. Sasha, I've literally trained her to be mean and book you guys now without asking a lot of questions. She can answer any questions that you have, but she's rough. She'll want to get you into that meeting ASAP. And then when you get a meeting with us, we're literally just going to show you some of the other builds that we have for the other clinics. But if you're wanting to see some videos on what we built, go to the YouTube channel, no problem. We have a whole bunch of videos up there, even demos with other doctors building out their agents. I'm going to be trying to put more content like this up on a regular basis, just with the blog pieces that we create, just because, hell, we know you guys don't have time to read blogs. But if I were to read it, break it up into a whole bunch of little videos and then put it online, you got time to watch a 12-second video, at least enough to build trust and credibility with me, where you say, hey, you know what? This guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Let's book a discovery call. So with that being said, thank you for taking the time. If you watch this whole thing, like, God bless you. This is going to be broken up into a whole bunch of pieces, but looking forward to meeting your team and looking out for the next one. Bye now.